Hi there. Welcome to Day Day Meditation Podcast. This is a place where we learn to live in the present moment together. Today, I invited my friend Rachel to talk about how food can make our life feel longer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Rachel. Maybe we could talk about kind of your stories behind your YouTube channel, Rachel Meat Food.
You
Um,
got it right. You didn't have the S after me. Yeah, people try to like, oh, is that Rachel meets food? Is that grammarly correct? I was like, oh, I just feel like Rachel represents a group of people, a group of foodie, right? So it's a plural. It's not just necessarily
oh,
me. So I was like, that's why it's Rachel meet food.
that's your
Yeah,
intention.
that's right. That's right. I a lot there was another joke that I
uh,
was trying to make before was, when people ask, "Oh, what's your thoughts and what is your belief?" I always said that it's a Rachelism. It's not a Rachel, so Rachel is more of a pearl
mm,
than it's just about me. It represent a group of people or like or a school of thoughts.
oh,
That was a joke, halfly.
oh. Wow. Very interesting actually, because I thought it was Rachel Meets Food. And then I went to your channel and to take a look. Oh, there's no S. So I thought that was interesting. How come, Rachel made a grammar mistake? That would never
Yep.
happen. For
Yep,
sure.
everyone try to correct me. Every time I was trying to talk about my YouTube video, YouTube channel, they were, what's the name? And I said, Rachel Meat Food. And they're like, meats? They try to like spell it out for me. But yeah, no, I had to tell them over and over again, it's, you following it, you're part of this foodie group and who loves traveling, loves exploring, you
Mm.
know, very interesting things in life. And so you're part of the Rachel. So it's a
Oh.
group.
So the group of people that Rachel represents is anyone who love food, who love travel.
Love food, love travels for food. Always is either when people ask what is Rachel doing right now, she's
Mm.
either eating or on the way to eat. So that's kind of the group of people that I represent is looking for the best food, the tasty food, or just kind of overall exploring the world as we go
Mm.
through life and always having that motivation or kind of inspired to do more of that
Mm.
exploration in life.
Mm. Exploration in life. So that's what the spirit behind Rachel Meat Food.
Meat food without S,
Mm.
yes.
Mm. Yeah. And so how did you get into this though? Like what made you want to start the YouTube channel to do this?
Oh yeah, so this is 2 years ago now. I was on a road trip
Mm.
and we stopped at the Costco to get gas. And the Costco is selling $1.50 hot dog, right? For
Uh,
like 20 years. It's
uh,
always $1.50.
mm,
And so we're just getting that. I love hot dogs. And so I was getting that and we're just shooting the videos like, oh, okay, we can do a video of me kind of finishing this hot dog in like 5 seconds because I eat very like really fast these things.
uh,
Noodles, hot dogs, or buns and steamed buns. I eat really fast. I look thin, but I actually eat a lot
wow,
of carbs. So
wow.
I love food, and so we're just shooting that and just see how fast I can do, and just like as
Uh,
part of just recording that. But then it was so good. It was like. YouTube Shorts was like 60 seconds, right?
uh,
So we're just shooting it, and I realized not only do I eat hot dog very fast or eat
uh,
things very fast, I think I was very good on camera, good looking on camera of eating. it's if you've done some YouTube, while you're like or looking at yourself eating,
Mm, mm,
or like watching some of the foodie, related kind of YouTubers,
mm.
you will realize that it's actually pretty hard to be so good looking while eating.
Yeah,
It takes
yeah,
skills, right? Like you
yeah.
don't get all this oil on your face,
Right, right.
and then you don't look weird or like exaggerated. So
Uh-uh.
it's actually like quite. When I was looking at myself eating, I was like, oh, it's like, I mean, like I think I'm better, like even more good looking than just me not eating. So I was like, oh, okay. So it's quite pleasing to watch myself eating. So I
Oh,
started posting that, and
oh.
and so that was the start of it. So the start of the channel was actually YouTube Shorts, kind of the vertical,
Mm, I see.
15 seconds thing of just
Oh,
watching me eat. But then later, as I was traveling and started to wanted to have a theme or like wanted to kind of talk a little bit more voice over,
mm,
just not just me eating, but also showing the place and showing the food a little bit, kind of making that transition.
mm,
I started to do the regular videos, sort of like 10 minutes or so, but that, yeah, so that the YouTube shorts of just watching me eat was kind of the start of the channel.
mm, mm. Wow. And then you are like traveling to different places and you keep doing. You kind of incorporate the traveling piece.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
also like different kinds of food that you are introducing to people, right?
Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes. I think the significant one was the trip to Mexico.
Mm,
And I was there for like 3 weeks. So obviously had a lot of time traveling around, and trying different food. And in my mind, before I went, or in a lot of people's mind,
mm.
was Mexican food was tacos
Oh yeah.
or burritos. So basically it's
Yeah.
just tacos, right? Like so
Uh,
it should be the same. Yes.
uh,
So when I went to Mexico for 3 weeks, yes, I was eating tacos, but I was
uh,
eating different tacos. So
oh,
yeah, they call the whole thing tacos. But
uh,
it's and then I learned and realized
mm,
that it's very similar to like Chinese food when people like, oh, it's Chinese food, it's like noodles, right? But
mm,
like we have a lot different kinds of noodles and different regions noodles from different regions taste very differently. So
uh-huh,
it's the same as tacos in Mexico.
mm,
The tacos from this place is very different than how taco was prepared in another place.
oh,
And so, yes, I was ordering tacos, but it was very different dishes
oh,
in their
oh,
minds. So I was doing a lot of videos of that and trying to explain that. But so that was kind of the start of this travel and for food, and then and also as part of the videos, kind of talk about the travel itself as well.
mm, mm. So for the food, like you mainly kind of introduce like new flavors, like new concept of how the food is made. So
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
What it is, right? It looks like tacos. Everything looks like taco,
mm,
but like I was trying to kind of exploring, what's actually in there and why
mm,
is it different? What is it called locally and why does it, call, a certain name, etc. So very interesting. And with that kind of mission, it
mm,
made my trip much better and much more interesting as well. So it's kind of like, both sides, the food
mm,
itself and then the travel kind of make each other very, very more interesting than maybe if you're just doing it alone.
mm, mm. Why?
Why is it? Well, I,
Mm,
I felt like both the food and travel experience, or like the food and then the history about the food and then the place and everything is kind of part of a culture.
mm,
Right? So you can, if you just explain one thing or just like, shooting yourself eating the food and not explaining it, or
mm,
it's it's just food, right?
mm,
There's no soul in it. But I think if
mm.
you talk about the culture behind the history, the locals, and then
Oh,
kind of as part of the travel, you kind of have the soul in your food.
mm.
right? So the food, this is kind of the body of this, and then the
Mm,
travel experience, the history behind it, the culture is the soul of that body. So
mm,
like body and soul together, that makes it so much more interesting to myself. And I mean, I don't have many followers,
mm.
but I am probably my best fan of myself. I probably like contributed a lot of views to the limited views that I have because I
Uh,
like watching myself because I was very
mm,
good looking on the videos, uh but mostly it reminded me a lot and it made me to relive that experience over and over again, which was very
mm,
interesting, right? The
mm,
details of that trip. So
mm,
shooting these videos, yes, it's for the YouTube channel, but mostly for myself. It
mm,
was a very good way to record
mm,
my experience,
mm,
right? You know, like now it's you know many years ago, 20 plus years ago, we have these like film-based cameras, right? So then you're like, okay, I only like brought 20 frames or like
mm,
films, and then you're like, oh, should I take the photo of this or like? So you really like cherish each take, right? But
mm,
nowadays, you can take the same thing like 5 times, and then in your phones it's like 1,000 pictures, right? So then you don't get to like you know look through them again. You just like took them, right? Because
mm,
you didn't think about it. But like having like recorded these videos with the purpose of, editing for the YouTube channel, I think
mm,
it was great to like when I come back from these trips
mm,
and really like have another opportunity to relive the trip again by
mm,
editing them and then relive it again and again after I,
mm,
just watch myself after it's posted.
mm,
So that was a good experience for me. And I felt like having this channel or making these videos really contributed a lot to my own experience
mm.
of traveling too.
It's like deepen your experience, like make you really like think deeper into the process of food making and the stories behind the food.
That's right. Yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of when I do the editing, there's a lot of, research after that too, is
uh,
how to wave all these videos together in a cohesive way. And then, as part of the editing process, that was very to me a very enjoyable process as well to do that. And also like, when I was watching these, I
mm,
started noticing it's like a 360-degree
mm,
experience, right? And you start noticing the surroundings,
mm,
because when I was shooting the videos, I was just focusing on the eating, focus on the food, and then
mm,
focus on myself. But when I come back and rewatch my own videos, I start noticing, oh, there's this person or like, this person is doing that in the background. I was shooting a video in the markets, like a
mm,
morning, kind of like fish markets in the morning
mm,
in Paris. And I like to go to these local markets a lot, fresh food and stuff like that. So a lot of people very crowded in the morning.
mm,
And so I was focusing on, just eating this noodles. But now rewatching the videos, I
mm,
can, recall the experience, the sound, and then the noise, and then the
mm,
crowds. And someone is selling fish here, someone is selling, fresh fruits. It's really like make the experience like utilize all your senses, right?
mm,
So it's like utilize all your senses, remembering things. That was
mm,
very interesting. So my memory now of these trips
mm,
is it consists of multiple senses,
mm,
not just, visually. Maybe you have some photos of the trip. Now
mm,
it included the sound, the smell too when I was in the market, right? So like
mm,
I think it was overall really great, like to my own experience of
mm.
traveling and enjoying the food.
It's like making this YouTube video help you to engage in food, in different senses, which is
That
a very enriching.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yep. Yep. That's why I like to rewatch them. Yeah,
Mm,
it's very enjoyable, like having that kind of memory
mm,
versus, flat memory that we typically have, like knowing
Mm,
just what happened,
mm,
right? Or recall what happened. And maybe after a while, you don't even recall what happened.
mm,
Um, Now I have this very diverse, you know, memory, and it's much deeper than normally if you just take a
mm.
photo
Right.
to places where you visit.
Of course, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I watch some of your video like it's like a class. I feel like really a lot of knowledge behind the food. Like you really like help us to kind of get to know the food, get to know the philosophy behind the food, get to know the history, the culture behind the food, and that's definitely um connected with the country or places that you visited.
Yeah, I'm getting better at this. I think
Mm,
rewatching them also gives me an opportunity to be improving myself too.
mm,
Yeah, it's an evolving
mm,
process. If you watch some of the, like I said, like when I first started, it started with just a short kind of video 15 seconds of just me watching myself eating. And then it later becomes just a video without a
mm,
voiceover. And then, recently it became, videos with caption, with
mm,
voiceover and
mm,
description of the process, etc. So I'm definitely improving.
mm,
Quite interesting. What happened was, I think the France trip, the Paris food tour.
mm,
And some of the videos were pretty, I mean, people like Paris, people like French
mm,
cuisine. So those videos were watched more than any others. And then so I was still shooting, the food and then the background, the Eiffel Tower, and myself eating, right?
mm.
And then there's like comments who people laughed in the comments. It was like the comment was, can you just cut down, the videos of yourself eating? Can you just show more of the food and
Food.
or the Paris? So you see, like kind of as my channel is evolving and getting
Uh,
more, more content, I think people
uh,
prefer to have more content than
uh,
just, watching me eat.
uh,
So as I'm visiting these interesting places, you see kind of people care more about, the place, the culture, the food, and versus, just watching me eat. But like at the beginning of the channel,
uh,
lot of my followers were just there, like kind of watching a very thin person eating a lot in like 15 seconds. So that was the purpose before. But now I think my subscribers are changing in terms of what they want from this.
mm.
And that was very interesting. So it's a quite learning process too. Just the
Uh,
YouTube, being a YouTuber or becoming a YouTuber. I think it's quite an interesting process for myself as well. Aside from the trip and then the food experience.
mm. Can I say that as you are kind of discovering your style of the video, then you incorporated, some of the culture, history behind the food, and you kind of find your audience naturally because you incorporate this and you like those elements and your follower kind of shift to that direction as well naturally.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's right. If you watch everything from the
mm,
beginning, then you see
mm,
that change. At some point in the middle of it, I think I was trying to like testing out like what if I do like a rating,
mm,
instead of describing the food and like people watch me eat and then the food and then I just like do like a little ratings if it's a 5 star like in terms of
mm,
taste or if it's a 5 star in terms of look. So I was doing that kind of as like
mm,
a header. That didn't go very well. People like just like take off like all these
uh,
like distractions from the screen, and
uh,
so that lasted for like a couple of videos. And so yeah, so I was trying different things. I think until and then you kind of see the YouTube is great as
mm,
the analytics behind the scenes and telling you when people are visiting the and then the demographic of
mm.
the visitors and also like how long because typical videos are like 10 minutes long but how long did they just give up right like maybe like oh they watch like first 3 minutes of it and they give up.
Mm,
So then I can kind of, readjust and put
mm,
most of the content or the interesting content up front
mm,
instead of, waiting in the back, etc. So I was definitely trying to adjust for it. And then you watch the subscriber increase
mm,
as a way to, as a feedback from, whether people like your changes or not, or like how this is heading.
mm,
So after I started posting, the Paris trip and French cuisine with voiceovers and more talks and longer videos
mm,
and more talk about or content about the food itself and then the history and everything. And I think my subscribers basically like increased from 100 to 300. So it was a good increase.
mm.
Versus, I think the first 100 subscribers took about a year.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm still constantly adjusting and trying
mm,
different things.
mm,
And sometimes, uh, I have good surprises or, especially like recently, Thanksgiving, I was like just trying out the shorts again.
mm,
And then I was just shooting my own cooking, and then it
mm.
was nothing but the noise of the cooking, the
Oh,
sizzling, and if that got pretty good view, 1,000 view right
oh,
away. And I was like, I had another one that's about, just I was making a juice using the juice makers to make a blueberry juice, and that was like a
oh,
1,000 views. So, and it was just 15 seconds of the process, and people
mm,
just want to hear what they call what sometimes it's just very soothing to just hear the food making process, right? The
mm.
sound of it.
It is.
So, and and then the last one that was it was very funny was I was just recording
Mm,
me making a dish
mm,
in a Chinese pan, like a
mm,
big pan, and then
mm.
I was just throwing the garlics in, and then once you throw a garlic in a very heated
Oh,
pot, it was just making the noise. So I just thought about a caption was like, if life is giving you a hard time, throw
oh.
in more garlic, right? And then so there's people leaving comments for me. It was like, oh, my life is probably like 98% garlic right now. So it's like, okay, I guess. And so that was interesting, just trying different things and continuously kind of improving on the content. And
Oh, mm. Yeah, that's a long journey and it's not easy. Have you thought about giving up?
no, no, no.
Never.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, but no.
Oh,
If not, I'm very excited to
oh,
continue this. And it's really, again, I think because the reason behind what
mm,
I'm doing is for
mm,
myself.
mm,
And I get a lot from making these videos, going on these trips with this purpose in mind, and trying
mm,
different food and
mm,
doing a lot of research and doing a lot of editing. And
mm,
because it was for myself, I don't, typically when you have that high of motivation, it's about doing it for yourself, right? And
mm,
then you don't give up easily, right?
mm,
But if you're like only doing it for other purpose other than yourself, for money or
mm,
for other, then it might be easier to give up if you
mm.
don't see the results,
Yeah.
especially when you don't see the results in, a short period of time, you tend
Mm,
to give up and try other ideas. But
mm,
because this is purely 100% for myself. Again, I'm
mm.
probably the most contributor and most views of my own videos. I love it.
Oh,
It's like a, a real memory, like a real living memory
mm,
of my travel experience. That's just great. Like,
mm,
in that reminded me another quote from a Stoicism too,
mm,
of Seneca on Shoreless of Life. I really love that quote.
mm,
Was, we have a we have a long life. We just waste a lot of it. Right? When people say, "Oh, life is short," no, life is long. We just waste a lot
oh,
of it.
oh,
And so that was the quote about life. And then the relevance to this is that when I relive these experience, I felt like I live a much longer life,
Mm,
right? So it's all these moments in your
mm,
life
mm,
that make up your life, right?
mm,
So having this experience and having, you know, the purpose of making these videos and for people and for myself and
mm.
sharing this experience really make my own life much longer than it is. It's just, you know, at least the feeling of it. And so yeah, I'm not giving up on making my life longer.
Why these moments make your life longer? Is it because that you are really cherishing that moment at the moment and you are really living the moment?
That's
That
right. Yeah. I mean, the way that
mm,
you think about it,
mm,
it's just the feeling of it. Your life just feels longer, right? But the way that you actually think about why it makes sense
mm,
is like we can only live in the present moment, right? But the present moment is fleeting. Like
mm,
1 second, now that second is gone, right? Just one
mm,
second, it's gone, right? So you can only move forward. So basically, what is life
mm,
is basically finding things to do and making these experience your memory, right? It's like a process, like a factory, right? It's just like
mm,
the experience come your way and then you process them and then becomes your memory, right? So
mm,
that's basically what we're doing, right? The future is a big chunk of the future coming your way, and then immediately the present moment is probably just like one shot, right? One snapshot, and
mm,
then it just becomes the memory, right? So it's a big chunk of memory that you're accumulating, and
mm,
that's basically how we go through life, right?
mm,
So the what makes it longer? Meaning like at any point you're like, okay, stop the machine, and you look at the memories that you made,
mm,
right? So yes, it's like 20 years of your time and then versus 20 years of someone else's time, but then you have like, you know, a lot, like much bigger box of memories and things
mm,
that you did
mm,
and relationships and moments. So those are the things that you make, right? Passing through your machine. And then somebody else with 20 years of time, their box is quite empty.
mm,
Right? So I think that's the meaning of life is go through this and try to convert the experience into memories, but then, you know, convert the experience into great memories, diverse
mm,
set of memories, moments, and
mm,
that's how we make the best out of life, right? So the there's another quote that I really like was, you know, it's not about the length of the your
mm,
life, it's about
mm,
the wealth and
mm,
depth of
mm,
your life, right? So just think that as, you know, all the memories in the box, you know, how
mm,
full your box is,
mm,
right? So that's how I see it. Like, you know, having these and relive these moments and like I
mm,
said, engage all your senses now,
mm,
like remembering all the details about the trips, the
mm,
food you ate, right? You ate it, right? And then if you don't record them or don't try to like, you know, think about them, reflect on them, then after a while you just forget how it tasted,
oh, right,
right?
right.
So then you look at your box of your memories and you're
Mm.
like, huh, I don't recall any of those. Like, yeah, well, what was that? Right? So it's
Mm,
like I'm a minimalist myself, right?
mm,
So like I only keep the essential items. What are the
mm,
essential items? It's like
mm,
I use them every day. I have to use them. I have like, but I don't keep things that I don't use them. So the
mm,
way that I get rid of things was like, you know, there are two steps before I throw them away.
mm,
Is I put them in a box and I close the box. If I don't even like think about the box and what's in the box for 6 months,
mm,
I just throw out the entire box without opening them, right? Like,
mm,
because it just means that you don't need them,
mm,
right? So it's the same as your your life too, is that if you don't even record or just reflect on these things and then you ate something, yeah. But then if I ask you like how does it taste? How did it
mm,
feel? You don't remember much, then
right.
that's not really uh, a good experience or good memories.
Mm,
And then so you tend to live a shorter life, meaning, you know, it's not by time, but like by the
ah,
depth of it.
Mm. Yeah, because when you are deeply engaged in this process of this experience with all your senses, it sticks out in your memory strongly. And as you are kind of rewatching it, reliving it, reflect on your trip, like after the trip, that you kind of enhance the memory even more.
That's right. Yeah. We can be like
Mhm.
going to the same place,
Mm,
right? And then coming back and some like our mutual friend can ask, "Oh, you both actually went to Paris. What did you do? Did you like it?" And then one person is gonna say, "Oh yeah, I like it. You know, I
mm,
remember this." And then, "Oh, that was great." And then like in your
uh,
story, like it has all these, senses
uh,
involved, the smell, like your story is just so much more uh diverse than the other
uh,
person. So that was great. It's not very descriptive
uh,
because you didn't, so that's the difference between the depth of
mm,
experience is
mm,
how much you can recall
mm,
from this trip or from this visit, right? So
mm,
both went to the same place, spent the same amount of time,
mm,
so the length of it is the same, but the
mm,
depth can be very different.
mm. Very much. Actually, this is very rare nowadays, isn't it? Like to really like engage in the food experience from different senses, different angles, um, because everything is so fast paced. And we're also doing multiple things at the same time. When we eat food, we do other things. Like we watch movies, we talk with people, we watch, short videos. So like food is becoming like something it's kind of minimized in the whole process of experience.
A lot of things are
Uh,
minimized,
a lot.
right? You mentioning you're like eating and you're talking, and then so you're not really eating, but you're also not really talking. So
Um,
I'm a minimalist, and I say people thought
mm,
it's, I have 100 items or
mm,
something like that, but it's more than that. It's
mm,
how I treat relationships, treat these events as well.
mm,
Is that I don't watch my phone while eating with
mm,
someone, or I don't watch my phone or watch anything while I eat myself alone,
mm, mm,
because otherwise it's like you kind of like multitasking and you thought that you're very productive. But again, like if you think about your life as a way of making good memories
mm,
and good moments that you recall and all the
mm,
senses, if
mm,
you just like if you're multitasking your life
mm,
away,
mm,
then yes, you're gonna have a lot of talking points, but then
mm,
you don't have much depth into each, right? So if
mm,
you're like eating with someone and you're watching your phone and you're like talking and you're not really, so then I ask you, what did you talk about? How did you feel? And you're like, oh yeah, we kind of like I think we talked about, and then you don't recall too much of that. And then
mm.
if I ask you how did your food taste, you're like, oh, I don't I can't remember. What did I order? Or what did the other person, right? So you don't remember either one of them.
Right.
And so that just that's a waste of your life, right? That's that goes back to the Seneca quote was like, we have a long life,
Mm,
80 years and nowadays, right? 80 years or like 70 years.
mm,
That's a long life. You can do a lot in those
mm,
years,
mm,
right? But then but we tend to say like, oh, life is short. Well, all of a sudden, like I'm like this old now. Like life is so short. Like the happy moments are so no. We have a long life. We
mm,
just waste a lot of it. So if you just like kind of recall, like, oh, what did I do today? Like you're just like, okay, maybe like 80% of screen time, right?
mm,
Like, but then like just scrolling the same thing like over and
mm,
over again, and then
mm,
what did you learn, how did you feel from it, like you don't have any reflection on
mm,
these, so basically you
mm,
wasted
mm, mm,
that much
mm,
time, right? So 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 that goes back to this, I don't multitask.
mm,
um so I mean sometimes it's quite interesting because I always I if I'm like eating with someone,
mm,
outside in the restaurant, I
mm,
tend to focus on that other person in the conversation a lot more than the
mm,
food. And
mm,
then And sometimes what I do is, and I like talking and like listening as well. Even if I'm like listening, I'm still like listening, focus on
Mm,
listening, not eating.
mm, mm.
So very often the other person would be like, "Hey, Rachel, can you just maybe let's stop talking. Let's just eat a little bit. You need to eat. Like it's
Uh,
getting cold."
mm.
So I'm always reminded to eat because I couldn't really multitask.
Ah.
So a lot of times I would be like, "Oh, okay, let me eat, and then we can continue."
Ah.
And so both the talking and the listening, I couldn't do like I couldn't multitask in
Mm,
my life because
mm,
I try really hard before to train my brain to not
mm,
multitask.
mm,
Um, and to focus on one thing. Yeah.
mm,
One thing, one relationship, or like just it's the minimalism goes beyond just kind of decluttering my possessions.
mm. So this like kind of focused mindset, it's helping you to really appreciate food. Um,
Yeah,
and
it
also,
helped me to appreciate a lot of things
mm,
in
mm,
life. Um, the conversation
mm,
too, right? Like what we're doing now, I
mm,
appreciate this an hour every week to
mm,
talk about things. And I really focus. And then even if I'm talking on the phone,
mm,
people like do a lot of things while talking on the phone.
mm,
Um, I'm very focused. Even I'm chatting like text message
mm,
sometimes.
uh,
Like if it's like a back and forth,
mm,
I'm literally texting is the only thing I'm doing. You will see me
uh,
like red because I'm like on your text
uh,
as you're like replying.
uh,
And I tend to joke around, like people like
uh,
at work, people are like, oh, why can't you do both? And why can you like, I was like, so I kind of, I told people at work, I was like, oh,
uh,
I only have 10% of my brain. I'm not that smart. I can't be multitasking. So I kind of like tell people that, and people think that I'm like joking or halfly joking, but in reality, what I meant is I'm like,
mm,
when I do one thing, I just do this one thing.
mm,
So even at work, people like stop by and try to chat.
mm,
I typically just say, okay, let me send this email, and I'll just
mm,
focus on
mm,
eating for
mm,
the, whatever it is. It's random chat is just like
mm,
randomly, I
mm,
would focus. So
mm,
people are like, oh no, no, you can do that while talking or while listening. I was like, no, 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 no. You're the most important person right now, right?
uh,
So you want to chat? Well, let's chat, but let me send this email.
mm,
And you know, when I tell people is like I'm not that smart to multitask, but it was a process for myself to train my brain to
mm,
work that way. And
mm,
now it's kind of pretty much kind of nature to
mm,
me, very natural. It comes very natural to me to
mm,
just do one thing at a time. Yeah, I think it started when I was first year junior high, right after I graduated from elementary school. I was, went to the middle school, and the first day, first class, no one knows everybody, nobody else. And
mm,
the teacher was, Rachel, can you go up there and then just introduce yourself? Because my student ID was one in the
mm,
class. So they go like one, two, three, four, and then so it's
mm,
like who's number one, and so I went up. So I was trying to introduce myself. Somehow I didn't prepare for that, but
mm,
somehow what came out of my mouth was, "Hey, I'm Rachel. I am someone who likes to do a lot of things, but I
mm,
can never be good at like best at one thing."
mm,
That because I that's me. I have a lot of, I just my thoughts are like, racing like,
mm,
120 miles per hour every
uh,
minute. There's a lot of thoughts around, like a lot of things I want to do, and I talk very fast and I think very fast, and so that was my issue, right? It was easily distracted. There was a lot of things going on,
mm,
and I couldn't really sit still, right? So
mm,
um so ever since then, I started to train myself, really force myself as I grow up to
mm,
really just focus and focus. So concentration was my biggest issue before in
mm,
life.
mm,
And then so that was something that I worked on for a long time to get to where I am today, is to
mm,
probably the other extreme. Right now it's just like so concentrated on one thing that
mm,
but it's you know what other people were talking about, this like stage of like flow, right? Like, you get into the flow of
Mm,
things, and a lot of people try to do it and make a lot of effort,
mm,
but they're like, oh, how did you do that? Like, how did you get into the flow like so fast? I was like, no, no, and it's not easy for me. It took me like 25 years or 30
wow.
years even to get to where I am today.
Mm.
So you take your own time, no rush. And they thought it was just like it came very natural. No, it's I'm
Oh,
someone who was like, if I was growing up in the US, I would be
mm,
like ADHD or something like as a kid.
mm,
But
mm,
obviously in China they didn't really want to categorize you that way, but as a
mm,
as a kid, but I think I definitely had that. It was just, it was very hard for me myself to
mm,
concentrate and just running around and moving around. I still
mm,
move around a lot, like while
mm.
talking, it helps me focus. But yeah, getting from that to like where I am now, it took 20 years.
Wow. Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Rachel, thank you so much for sharing the
Yeah.
stories
Yeah, of
behind
course.
your channel, Rachel Meat Food. And
Rachel, meat food.
yes, not meat, it's meat food.
Yep. Meat without S. Yes.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdoms behind all the intentions you have for the channel. And I really enjoying this conversation with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's chat more. Yeah. Yeah. Look forward to more conversations. I love talking and I love
Mm,
talking with you a lot.
mm,
I think you ask great questions. And love to learn more about you as well, your thoughts and
mm,
perspectives about things.
mm. We will see. We will see where the nature leads us.
Yes. 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 It's great.